everybody, backyard business, and again we're in my backyard, and we're going to go through the whole weather change crazy seasons. Right now, as you can see, it's summertime, and look, we're trying to make sure we bring interesting people with not just a typical discussion, but a deeper discussion. By the way, so I have Kendal Conrad. First of all, Kendal, thank you for being here. You look terrific as always.
Thank you.
You got your chamber hat, and then you gave me your. So tell the story about this hat that you gave me that I'm now happily wearing.
Well, I figured, if I was going to wear a hat, then you should be in a hat.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So Leader of the Pack is my favorite song that I've ever written. And
wow.
Yeah, a lot of my merch features that song and that lyric. And so that's where it's my merch, basically.
So for those who don't know Kendal Conrad, and most everybody does in the Lehigh Valley because you're kind of everywhere, music is your thing, right? But so tell me, first of all, how you even got there. Because there might be young people who are like, I really love music. How do I get to be Kendal Conrad?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always done music. I started when I was in like elementary school singing in choirs and things like that. So like I don't remember ever not wanting to do music. So there was never like me finding it. I just grew up loving it and wanting to sing. So it just came naturally for some reason. None of my family is very musical. My mom played piano, but she supposedly plays piano. I've never seen it really. So it's
just say that she has
it's the folklore.
Hi, Bill Brown. How you doing? Sorry to interrupt everybody. Bill Brown's your special guest, and Bruce Haynes. So stay tuned for those shows. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But no, so I
love the earrings, by the way. I love the blue earrings.
Thank you.
Perfect
Shout out to Sorelli.
Oh, really? Yeah, perfect match.
Local.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I've always been a singer.
But what I admire about you, people do this stuff, but for some reason you just are tenacious. So again, for young people that might be watching, you've had rejection too. I mean, to get where you are, are you good at that? I'm really bad at that. I'd be in the fetal position crying, but you're good at that. And, I mean, who's good at rejection? I'm sorry.
No, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You have to people talk about having a thick skin.
Yeah.
And you do, but I don't know how great I am at handling rejection. I mean, I eventually get over it because you have to. And I think you have to stay focused on your goals and your mission and what you want in life and where you want to be. And so at the end of the day, the rejection doesn't matter in the long run, but immediately, it's very painful.
Yeah, so it's easy to talk about it. So what, in those moments, so for someone that, when you go to that, I don't want to overstate it, that dark place where you've been rejected, where do you get do you have a timeout before you can get your strength, or you just, where do you get back on the horses and stuff?
I don't know where you stand on this, but I am a wallower.
Oh, yeah. I'm a ruminator, but anyway.
Yes. Oh, that's a great word. I'm that too.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah, I'm both of those things. So I feel like I'm just down in the trenches, to be honest, Tony, for like I'll just live there for quite a while. No one, I hope, can tell or can see it.
No, you can't.
Because you can't. No one wants to go see a miserable entertainer. So, you have to put it on. But yeah, I am a wallower, and I feel like that does help. To just be like, this sucks. Yeah. I'm going to sit in this for a while until I feel better. And that's kind of, what's always helped me.
But you did spend some time, you went to Nashville, correct?
I did, yeah.
That's what I want to ask you. What did you learn from, so you see now people that are reasonably successful, super successful, it's a matter of quote unquote inches. You can get that one little break. And I'm sure you've seen people that maybe aren't more talented than you, but they got that break.
Yeah, Nashville is really tough. It's hard as a musician to figure out how to survive, honestly, and pay all your bills and live there. Yeah. And still keep your head in the game as far as being an artist and creativity and all the things, because you have to figure out how to pay your rent and how to feed yourself and all of these things. And most of the places in Nashville do not pay you to sing or perform or do anything. So you have to figure out
why, because there's so many people trying to get in that game.
Yeah.
That they'll do it. They'll just to get the door open.
Yeah. Which
so you don't go down. You don't go down there, at least in the short term, to make money. It's about just getting some recognition, finding that break.
Yeah. You definitely don't go down there as a musician to play on Broadway and make a killing. So it's a great town. It's a great city. It's just, it's very soul crushing. It can be for musicians. So
in an odd way, like a paradox in the sense that you're involved in the chamber, So what's like I don't even know how that whole thing was. That your way of saying, look, I'll meet people, or I guess it's like, what's a nice person like you doing in a place like this?
No, I enjoy being weird. I have always enjoyed being weird. It's not helpful sometimes, especially like socially. Like I will be contrary just to be contrary, and that has gotten me into trouble before. So I'm trying to tone it back a little bit. But I thought, I am a business. I provide a service.
Yeah.
You can't touch the product. It's music. You can't see it, but I'm providing a service. So it's, the chamber is good to small businesses. I'm technically business of one. And I was very much getting stuck in the same routine as far as playing the same bars, meeting the same people, which is my fan base. And I love them dearly, but it's not widening what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to join the chamber. There's a ton of restaurants in the chamber. There's a ton, things that I could network.
Did you get some business out of it? I don't want to be like a chamber thing, but I'm just curious.
No, I did.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I did. Very much did.
All right. So in a really predictable, shallow question, who's like a famous person that you... Did anybody famous that you met in your travels?
Oh my gosh!
That you really liked?
I've opened for a ton of famous.
Oh my God! Well, do tell. Tell us.
I opened for Blake Shelton. He was incredible, and he had Gwen Stefani.
Friendly. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How was Gwen?
Pictures with me, amazing.
Yeah.
So nice, so friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, they were both like really, really cool. I remember, quick story, before I got on stage to open for Blake, he was kind of milling around backstage or hanging out, waiting to go on. And I went up to him and I was talking to him and I really wanted a picture. And I guess someone needed him to be somewhere. And his manager was like, let's go. Yep. And he turned to them and said, give me 1 second. I'm going to take a picture with her.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. Like he halted everything and was patient and took the time and didn't rush the picture. And he was like, do you like it? And I was just like, I was floored.
Yeah.
He was amazing. So nothing but good things about
that. Reminds me, I have one like that. One time I was doing way back in the election period when Hillary Clinton was running in the primary against Barack Obama. They were having a rally. I interviewed her, believe it or not, in Liberty High School's girls' locker room.
Wow.
Because that's all they could put. And they were chanting her name. And I never asked this, but I said, at that point she was a Secretary of State. Madam Secretary, would you mind taking a picture with my daughter? She stopped, and they were like, it was like, get out there, and put her arm around her and took a really nice picture. And so
that's amazing.
And now my daughter lost the picture and doesn't have it. But anyway, that's the rest of the story. How are we doing for time? We okay? All right. So I want to just ask you, what do you think? Are you at a good spot? Tough? Where you at?
Like career-wise or personally?
Well, do both. Let's do both. This is about we want to talk about the people. Yeah.
I mean, career-wise, I feel like I'm always doing really well.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's not. So the end game goal is to play stadiums. So like obviously I have played stadiums, just not consistently. So I want to say that. Like
what's the biggest crowd that you played for?
So like when I sing my national anthems, those are huge crowds. They're in stadiums. I did the Eagles, the national anthem for the Eagles last year. I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
At the Link. No.
Because but I understand when you play in a stadium, there's reverberation.
Yeah.
I think that's the word. And it's like, it's hard to figure out, like, it's hard to do.
Well, the worst is when they forget that you don't know, because some stadiums have it and some don't. So the worst is when they send me out there and no one tells me, and then I get this massive this massive like delay.
Yes, that's what it is.
Delay.
You say it, all of a sudden it comes on.
And it just really throws me off. And I'm like, I wish someone would have been like, hey, heads up. But sometimes they do know and they give you the in-ears, and those are amazing. You hear yourself, it's perfect, and it's one. But sometimes it's a little.
So professionally good. Wait, let's do you said you're throughout the personal. How you doing? Yeah. How's your world? How's your life?
It's going really well. Yeah. Good. It's going amazing. So,
good.
I have my parents that are a huge support system.
Yeah, they are a big support system.
Have you met both of them?
No, but I know you talk about that.
Yeah, they're just like a big part of my life, and they've been supportive of me since I was really little. So, they still come to my gigs and my shows. And
what do you do for fun? Like when you're not when you're not. Because you're focused, you're in a lane. But what do you like? What chills you? What recharges you?
Yeah, I gotta say that I enjoy work, which is like very weird, but I truly do. And so like I don't like anything else that I do outside of work is like fine and it's great to take a break, but do I truly enjoy it as much as my work and what I'm singing? Actually, no, I don't think I do.
What was your favorite performance that you ever did?
Singing with Keith Urban.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was my favorite.
Where was that?
Yeah, that was at Music Fest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, you were up on the Music Fest stage and the
Yeah.
whole thing. Now, that's a good crowd.
Yeah. That was...
Were you excited about that?
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah, he mailed me a signed guitar after we sang together and wrote my name on it. And
Wow.
he was incredible.
Do you have do you have a plan B, or is that not that you? I mean, you're in the performance business. Do you have one, or do you care to have one, or that'll come when the time comes if it's need to?
Going back to the personal question, sometimes I do have like a panic moment where, where I'm like, well, wait, what happens if, I lose my voice, like, or a Julie Andrews situation, or like, what happens if I get arthritis and I can't play guitar anymore? Or like, I have these thoughts because I'm so dependent on those two
Well,
things.
your mind's as busy as mine is.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about that.
So I have thought about it because I'm like, well, what happens if that all comes crashing down, and it's really scary because I'm alone. It's business of
Do you know what
one,
you need to do?
so.
You need to have breakfast with Bill Brown like I do. He talks me off the ledge,
Yeah.
He gives me...
He is a very calm...
Yeah. And I used to have... Elmer Gates was one of my mentors, and he used to always talk me... he'd always say, all right, buddy, you're on the side of the angels. So he'd let me know. He'd get rid of all the interference that's between my ears.
Right. And sometimes you just need somebody to tell you that.
Yeah.
That's not in your own head.
Yeah.
Like an outside source.
Who's someone that you really admire, like on the other side, professionally, since you're interacting in this community so much? I see you everywhere.
Like someone that I actually know, or someone that I see from a
No, that you
distance?
know, that you've met in this community, that you're like, what? That person's impressive.
I think Tony Iannelli's pretty.
Besides him.
You like the flattery?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Did you mean that, or it just sounded good?
No.
Okay. All right. Don't go on. Don't make me feel funny.
I don't say anything I don't mean.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't even know if I could pick out one person.
So many?
Yeah, like I'm even thinking of people even that I've met once in the Valley who like helped me get to a certain place in one situation, and who I don't necessarily talk to frequently, but they were a huge help. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't even know.
Well, you're an engaging person, so you're not a closed. So I would assume you bounce off of people and they talk to you about real things. You just said it now. Most people professionally, they don't want to touch personal side, but you're like, yeah, I'm who I am.
Yeah, I feel like that's important, and that's when you actually build relationships with people. When you're like, hey, how are you doing, really?
Yeah.
Like tell me about you.
Yeah.
And not necessarily.
We all did that. How you busy? Yeah. How about you? Busy. But there's a whole lot of stuff, particularly in today's world, a whole lot of stuff going on inside.
Yeah, and people don't like to, obviously you don't want to talk about negative stuff. You're at a networking event, whatever, and it's like you have to keep it, very surface. But I am always an artist in whatever space you put me, so I always just dive into deep topics and conversation, and I feel like that does sometimes make people uncomfortable, and I just naturally go there. But just because I'm comfortable with it doesn't mean
that's a good,
everyone else is.
Yeah,
so I have to be careful of that.
Well, I'm with it totally. We're telling people stuff that seems okay in our world. They're like, well,
we've had good chats about stuff like that, and you're not, and we just go there naturally because you're like that too. But I would never want to make people uncomfortable, but again, like I'm just organically going there. Like I write about my feelings. I'm a songwriter. Like that's just I just naturally can tap into that. So,
and even though you've been around the world, to close this out, this is your place. I mean, unless you at some point do you see yourself being in LA or I mean,
even if I did, like I do, like I love cities, like cities, big cities. That's my favorite. I'm a city over nature. Like put me in the middle of skyscrapers. But no, I feel like this is always gonna be my place regardless of where I go. Like I feel like I have such a love of the Valley, and I don't think that would ever go away no matter where I
this is kind of you. I kind of figured that would be the answer.
Yeah.
Well, Kendall, first of all, thank you for the hat.
You're quite
You got
welcome.
a chamber hat.
It looks good on
How'd you get the chamber hat? Probably Frank probably gave it to you. No one. Anyway,
someone was
thank
like,
you
you
for
know,
this.
you'd look good in a chamber hat.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
was given
yeah,
a hat.
yeah.
So
They never said I'd look good in your hat, but still in all, I
Hey.
like your hat, and thank you for that. No, seriously, thank you for what you do. You're a really
Yeah.
good person. You love people, and you're just out there, and today was an example of that. So
oh, thank
best
you.
of luck.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're going to do good.
Yeah,
I
thank
promise you. All right.
Thanks.
What Texas call? Oh, that's right. Backyard business. Thanks for being with us. Another episode. Stay tuned. We got more to come. One a week. Is that right? One a week we're going to have. All right. Backyard business. See you later.